You're watching CNBC On Demand.
Tonight on Jay Leno's Garage.
We're now on the iconic Woodward Avenue.
I raced all the time on this street. Hasn't changed one bit.
We go on a journey through a city in the middle of a renaissance.
I'm willing to bet you don't have a car like this.
No, not one like this.
One that's contributed so much to American culture. It gave us the auto industry.
That's Henry Ford's boyhood home.
It gave us Motown.
All the great artists were here.
All right, it gave us Tim Allen.
Come on! Can't imagine what a pain in the ass you must have been at 18.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Detroit?
Detroit, the Motor City.
I mean, I get it.
Motown legend Martha Reeves talks cars with us.
I have never ridden in a Mustang.
Wait, you've never ridden in a Mustang?
I go riding in a bubble.
You just don't want your bubble to burst. That's the worst thing that could happen. Yes.
And I get an exclusive look at a brand new Corvette.
I'm just anxious to see if a stock car can go 200 miles an hour.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's all here in the Motor City.
Detroit is filled with all kinds of cool places like this one, Vincetta Garage, right off the iconic Woodward Avenue. This was a working service station from 1919 well up into the 2000s. When it closed, they converted it into a restaurant. See, that's what I love about Detroit. They're not afraid of their past. They're not ashamed of it. You know, a lot of cities would have knocked down something like this, put some big chrome glass looking thing in here, but they've kept the look and the feel of the old building. If you're a car guy, this is the place you want to eat. I'm going to meet a real car guy right now, my old friend Tim Allen. He got a start here in Detroit. He became a comedian here. He was educated here. Come on, let's go talk to Tim. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Jay.
Good to see you.
What a surprise. How you doing, man?
Did you bring these chairs from home?
Yeah, these just came from my kitchen.
Well, this is your town. You grew up here, right?
Well, about 11 or 12, I moved. My family moved from Denver, Colorado. I love automobiles so much. This place was like nirvana to me.
Do you remember this place? Do you remember when this...
Vincetta's Garage, you bet. Not a garage I came to, but we raced by it many times.
Right.
I raced other people's cars quite a bit because I didn't have money for a car, so I was always borrowing kids' cars. I was like a hired shoe early in my life.
Yeah. Did you win or lose most of the time?
Oh, Jay, I always won.
Yeah, really?
You know, come on.
Yeah.
Who's around to say no?
Yeah, I can't imagine what a pain in the ass you must have been at 18 or 19. I mean, you're a wise guy now, but it's tempered with a certain amount of age.
Well,
at 18, you must have been Mr. Just...
You add to that horrible adolescent acne.
Right.
So you've got a wise guy kid who looks terrible.
Right.
Who had to take a lot of abuse, because you know how sensitive guys are about other guys' affirmity.
Hey, pizza face.
Yeah, exactly.
Pizza face always a good.
Yeah, I could never leave the house if I looked like you.
And those are your friends.
Yeah, these are your close friends.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't want to get anywhere near you. Does that spread?
Yeah. Now, you've come home because you ordered a car. Tell us about the car you ordered.
I read this story, it's a Dodge, that said, well, the Hellcat's not enough. We're going to make an Uber Hellcat with where the interior is optional.
Right.
So I burst out laughing.
The Demon. The car is the fastest accelerating production car that you can buy. We got you to order one.
It just is the coolest looking car I've ever seen.
Well, that's why I brought you here today.
You know, I like to mess with Tim any chance I can get.
Wow.
Besides, I think he'd look nice in this.
This is the Demon? It looks different in person.
It's the 1955 Dodge La Femme.
Where did you find this?
I love it. Oh, man.
This was the first car designed by men for women. They thought, you know, women were starting to drive in the 50s in the suburban housewife, so they made them all pink, you know, pink interior, and it came with a matching purse, matching parasol, matching boots, and matching raincoat, because as you know, women like to wear the same clothes every day.
Just like men, women love
That's
wearing.
right. Guys figure, I wear the same thing every day. Why wouldn't
Why
women
wouldn't
wear the same?
women want to wear? Didn't they ask any women somewhere? Going,
I
what
don't
do you
think they spoke to one woman when they designed it. This car was a spectacular failure.
Was
I
it?
mean, it was an excellent car, but the fact that just women, I don't think women wanted guys designing a car for them. Let's take a look at the brochure, shall we? Can you see what it says here? Look at this, Tim. By appointment to Her Majesty, the American woman.
This is the thing. That's the money, right? that's the money right there.
Wait till you see the bidet. Tim, let's take this baby for a ride.
Okay, I got to slip into a summer dress, though.
It runs.
Come on, honey. Let's head to Reno. It's so you.
Yeah. Now let's talk about your comedy career.
I was working at a sporting goods store right here. I was one of these comics that said, what was it going to take for me to get out of this cruddy job?
Right.
Finished college, literally went to prison.
Right.
I was going nowhere. I was behind the ball. I mean, everybody I knew had gone on because they didn't spend 3 years in a food line at a penitentiary.
Right.
And then so I had to catch up. And everybody I knew that was doing comedy was on the road.
I first saw you at Mark Ridley's Comedy Club.
Castle.
I walked in when you were on stage, and I went, oh, this kid's pretty funny.
We're having a Grand Prix. Kind of excited about that. Anybody excited? Come on, would you? It's nice, though, but I think it's kind of unusual. In a big city like this, they're going to leave 250,000 motor cars downtown Detroit overnight. I think you all know what I mean. Okay, John, start your engines. Where are my tires?
Once I got where I could do 4 gigs at 20 bucks, at 80 bucks, I could pay some of my rent.
Right, exactly.
And then I could quit my job. And that was that's a huge deal.
It's fun. I always liked you to stand up. It's good to see you back doing it again. We're now on the iconic Woodward Avenue. Did you ever race on this street?
I raced all the time on this street. Hasn't changed one bit. It's still a cruddy road, repaved several times. See, the curbs are real short.
Yeah.
Used to be taller. This is Race Central right here. It's just like a drag strip. It was perfect.
Woodward Avenue is possibly the most famous drag racing street in the world. It cemented its place in history with, well, the cement, when it became the first concrete paved road in America. It was also the site of the very first street racing ticket ever issued. Cars keep changing, but Woodward Avenue has always been the place to race. Come on!
The cars that I raced, which was this Corvette, I know, people laughed. It was very fast. 273 Barracuda. Every now and then I got my buddy who let me drive this 455 GTO, which was clearly the fastest. That thing would snort too. It had that, oh.
Yeah.
You turn the air cleaner upside down. That was a trick. You take the top, just flip it upside down.
What does that do?
It just makes it so you can hear the carburetor.
Yeah. Well, Tim, I'm going to make your dream come true. We're going to relive the past. I talked with the police. They're going to set up a drag race for you and I on Woodward.
Somehow, I want to get excited, but I know you better than that.
It's a great day to go racing.
You'll screw it up.
And
It's gonna be some...
and you like Dodges, right?
Oh, God.
There's a Dodge connection, and we're going to race.
I'm cautiously optimistic that this will be fun no matter what. We get to race on Woodward.
Believe me, you're going to love this.
Well, at least I'm gonna love it.
This is just BS, man. I never can trust you.
What are you talking about?
I can't trust you. You said it had something to do with Dodge. Dodge. You said Dodge. This is racing Dodge
No, I didn't say racing Dodge. It had something to do with Dodge. Dodge built bodies for Ford.
You're a liar.
No, he
You're a
didn't.
liar. I don't care what
The Dodge brothers built bodies for Ford.
Liar. Liar. You
That's
said
the
something to do with
connection.
Dodge. So what are we supposed to do with these things?
We are going to race these. This is the quintessential. This is the greatest car of the 20th century. This is the car that changed America. And you, Tim Allen, will now get a chance to race.
On Woodward Avenue, I could race anything, and I'm in basically a sewing machine.
Hop in. Let's do this.
I'm so angry. This is supposed to... Shut... Hold on a minute. Hold on. Just give me a minute. Gotta
Gentlemen,
explain to me
start your engine.
Start... What? What did you do? What did you press?
Pull the handbrake all the way back.
Shut up.
You got it?
You use the handbrake.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! I'm here in Detroit, Michigan, on Woodward Avenue with my good friend, Tim Allen. We're about to burn some rubber the old-fashioned way in Model Ts. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Come on! Come on! Come on! Tim, congratulations.
Well, it was a tough race, Jay.
It was a tough
Yeah,
race.
it was a tough race. I can't believe I could beat you in this thing, but you had a weight disadvantage.
No, you beat me fair and square.
Yeah, sure I did.
Yeah.
So what do I win?
I do have a surprise.
I am so sick of your surprises.
Well, no. You will like.
I don't like your surprises.
You will like this. Turn around.
Yeah, baby.
It's your demon, my friend.
Yeah, baby. Hell yeah.
Was it worth it?
It was really worth it. A very angry-looking automobile. That's what I'm talking about.
This is the Dodge Demon, capable of hitting 60 miles an hour in 2.3 seconds. It is the world's fastest 0 to 60 production car. Powered by a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8, the Demon packs a whopping 840 horsepower. And after riding in a Model T, well, this should feel like the space shuttle.
Congratulations, you are the first customer to take delivery of your new Demon.
This is amazing. What a piece, guys.
Pretty cool.
May I?
Absolutely, it's yours.
Good Lord.
Congratulations, Tim.
Have fun with the Model Ts.
Yeah. See you later. I got another surprise for Tim.
And now it's time to take a trip down memory lane.
Hi, guys. I'm here in Greenfield Village, right outside Detroit, Michigan.
This is a town Henry Ford created to preserve the past by relocating historic buildings, like the Wright brothers' actual workshop.
That's Henry Ford's boyhood home. That's where he grew up. And he really changed the fabric of American life. America was an agricultural country when he was born, and through most of his life it remained that way, until he made it part of the machine age with this vehicle. Now, everybody kind of knows the history of the Model T. They built 15 million of them. It was the most successful car ever built. But what you might not know about is maybe the social implications of this car. When the Model T came out, it was about $800 compared to about $4,000 for the average automobile. It made the car affordable to everybody because he wanted every American to be able to buy an automobile. It was a revolution. I mean, much the way the computer revolutionized the way we live our lives, Model T did the same thing. Henry Ford instituted the $5 a day wage, and $2 a day was an okay salary back in the day. He did it because he saw the economic benefit. If you paid people a decent wage, they could afford to buy your product. And with that announcement of the $5 a day wage, it was kind of like the gold rush in California. It was a great migration, especially of African Americans from the South, to come to Detroit. And they brought with them the culture, the food, the music. In fact, a lot of people feel that Henry Ford is responsible for the first strong African-American middle class in America, because he paid his African-American workers the same wage as he paid everybody else.
Over time, the African-American community in Detroit grew and prospered, eventually giving birth to its own unique Motor City sound.
Motown. I mean, all the great artists were here in the 60s. Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross and the Supremes, and a lot of those folks still live here. In fact, we're gonna meet one of those artists. How are you?
Jay Leno.
R&B diva Martha Reeves got her start at Berry Gordy's famed Motown Records Corporation. With hits like Nowhere to Run, Jimmy Mack, and Dancing in the Street, Martha and the Vandellas were responsible for songs you probably know by heart. Over 50 years later, Martha still tours, but she calls Detroit her home.
Well, this is pretty cool. This is
Yes,
where it all
it is.
started, huh?
Hitsville, USA.
Yeah.
Where we made all our records, all of
Yeah?
them. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember when they brought Stevie Wonder. He was only 8 years old when they brought him right here to this building.
I didn't
His
realize he
audition-
started at 8 years old.
His
Wow.
audition was when he was 8 years old. Yeah.
A lot of his. Actually, I've been carrying a piece of history. I think you might get a kick out of this.
Oh,
What's the date on that? What does that say?
oh, look at me.
What does that say?
It says March 1970. That's
1970.
The day, love, and thanks. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Oh, you kept this.
I did. I kept that 47
bless
years.
your heart.
I knew I'd run into you again.
This is amazing.
One of the first autographs ever.
Can I show you the town?
I'd love you to
Can
show
I
me.
show
I want to.
you
No, I want to see
Detroit?
Martha's town.
We're gonna hang out on the east side. See, this is the west side. We're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
hang out on the east side.
Let's go to the east side. Come on,
okay.
we'll do it.
All right.
Coming up, we'll explore the weird and wonderful side of Detroit.
I want to know how you got those shopping carts on up that tree.
And later, I check out the new Corvette ZR1
This must be like the first one off the line.
It's before the first one off the line.
and see if it really can break 200 miles an hour. I'm touring the east side of Detroit with Motown legend Martha Reeves in a car I picked out just for her.
Now, do you know why I'm driving this Mustang?
Yes, I do. This Mustang was in a Nowhere to Run video that we did while the guys put this Mustang together and introduced it to the world.
We went to the Ford factory where
Ford
they built the
factory,
Mustang.
right.
And you guys were running in and amongst the line while
Yes,
the guys
we
were
were.
painting the car.
And the guys were saying, get them right here.
Well, that's one of the first music videos, isn't
This
it?
is one of the first music, and it was not my idea, but I'm so glad we did that.
So when was the last time you rode in a 65 Mustang?
Do
Been
you
a
know,
while?
I have never ridden in a Mustang.
Wait, you've never ridden in a Mustang?
No, this is my first time. When we finished that Mustang, he got in it and drove off. We never even got to ride in it.
Well, I'm sorry it's taken so long. That's all right.
My first Mustang ride.
The Mustang was Ford's most successful car since the Model T. To date, over 9 million Mustangs have been manufactured, making it the best-selling car of its kind.
So tell me about the early days. You grew up here. Did you knock on Barry Gordy's door? Did he discover you?
Well, you know, we used to have amateur shows all the time in the different theaters, and I won an amateur contest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the hits followed. But while Martha's career was flourishing, jobs were moving out to the suburbs and social unrest was growing.
Now, I remember a story. Were you on stage once when the riots broke out? Have I got that right?
Right at this wonderful theater right here, the Fox Theater.
Right.
I was getting ready to sing, and somebody beckoned me to the edge of the stage. And I thought something was wrong with my dress, or I'd put on the wrong shoes or something. But I could hear sirens. And they said, Martha, you got to tell everybody to walk out of here calmly. There's a riot that's broken out. got a curfew. Everybody has to be home by 9, and the armed guards are in the street.
In July of 1967, economic pressures, the summer heat, and long-running tensions between African-American residents and the police erupted in 5 days of violent riots.
I imagine you've seen the city change quite a bit since you were making the hits here, huh?
Oh, yeah. Because of the riots, a lot of things changed. People moved and people went out of business, yes, and decided they'd take their business to the suburbs.
Give you some perspective of just how massive the exodus from Detroit was. Between 1950 and 2010, the city lost about 1.1 million residents. That's more people than are in San Jose, California, the 9th largest city in the U.S. They left behind tens of thousands of abandoned buildings, and the effects were devastating.
So what made you stay after so many folks left?
Our job was to be an example. You get over a crisis and you continue your life.
Yeah.
You can't run from reality.
But there were those, like Martha, who stuck it out and helped turn things around.
Is this Heidelberg over here?
Yes, we're entering Heidelberg.
Residents like Tyree Guyton, who transformed his neighborhood from a place riddled with drugs and poverty to a vibrant community where visitors are welcome. And it's called the Heidelberg Project.
Tyree was brave enough to go around and collect the debris of the city and made it art. People come from all over the world to see his exhibits. Wow. That is so clever. There's Tyree. He made a perfect circle.
Hey, Jack.
Hi, Tyree. Jay Leno, how
I
are you,
want to
sir?
introduce you.
Hey.
This is Jay Leno, Tyree
Good to see you.
Guyton.
Now, this is all yours? This is pretty much just the whole neighborhood's an art project, huh? How long has it been going on?
31 years.
Wow.
This is my purpose.
And this is the original house, right?
I
This-
grew up here. My grandparents grew up here.
Wow.
My husband and the family ever since 1947.
Wow. Now, was your grandpa alive when you were painting the circles on the house? Did he
was
get it?
part of it.
He got it?
He was part of it.
Very good.
Yeah,
You know, if I put a circle on my grandfather's house, it's over.
Well, you know what? Different stroke for different folks.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. It seems like you gather up things in the neighborhood and you turn it into art.
Absolutely.
Is that pretty much what it is?
This is my medicine. This is my way of helping this city.
Yeah.
City that I love.
I want to know how you got those shopping carts on up that tree.
You don't want to know? I'm willing to bet you don't have a car like this in your collection.
I don't have a car like this. I have a Saab.
Yeah,
But I don't
not
have-
like this.
No, not one like this, no.
And with some geese on top of it.
No, with no geese, no. Does it run?
No, not anymore.
But that's beside the point.
Absolutely. I want to try something. Jay. Will you sit back here with me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's sit back here.
We're going to be on the Heidelberg
Yeah, come on.
television show.
Uh,
All right.
Jay, have you ever been on television?
This is the first for me.
Martha, you ever been on television?
No, Heidelberg television, no. This is the first.
You know, this is really a big screen. This high def stuff is unbelievable. It likes the hands coming right at you.
Yes.
Come right at you.
Let me turn the set off.
Yeah, turn it off.
Coming up, I peer into Detroit's future,
755 horsepower.
and I'll try to break 200 miles an hour.
There's a guardrail there.
We
Well, thanks.
to make sure you don't go off.
And later, I try my hand at the game show profession.
Welcome to Kings of the Road, America's fastest growing automotive game show. Well, I'm at one of the dream places in the United States, if you're a car guy, the Milford Proving Ground, where GM tests all their cars. Now, this is the first proving ground in the country to test cars, actually in the world. In 1924, Albert Sloan had the idea that if you're going to test cars, you need to have controlled conditions. It's a pretty exciting place to drive, and no traffic. And when you have a test track like that, you need world-class automobiles to test on it. And that's what General Motors and all the American manufacturers that are based in Detroit are doing now. The car I'm driving right now is a Z06 Corvette. I've got a couple of Z06 Corvettes. I love these. This car is the performance bargain of the century. And this isn't even the most high-performance model. I'm on my way to test drive the new ZR1. That's the top-of-the-line Corvette. And we're going to see if we can break 200 miles an hour, which would be, I think, a pretty impressive feat, considering a lot of European exotics that cost 3 or 4 times as much can't come anywhere near that number. I'm here to meet Taj Jukter. He's the chief engineer for Corvette, and I think he's got something special coming. Wow, this is the new ZR1?
Hey, Jay, great to see you. Yes, it is.
Very
This
cool.
is it.
This must be like the first one off the line, right? Just
Actually, it's before the first one off the line.
well, that's pretty good. When you're ahead of the first one, I don't know what you call that.
It's a 6.2-liter supercharged V8. We're used to that, but 755 horsepower. So very, very stout motor. It's actually the engine sticking out. The hood actually frames the engine, so real good cooling out and around the engine.
And it's really interesting because Corvette took a sharp turn. It always had a retro look to it. And I think the older guys loved it because it reminded us of the cars from the 60s. But younger people when they wanted something more, well, more like this. And that's what this is. I remember when it didn't have round taillights anymore. Well, that's it. I'm out of the Corvette club. You know, that kind of stuff. But it's progress. You've got to move forward. And this is a classic example of that.
This car really is kind of emblematic of the resurgence of Detroit, kind of breaking away from the past, embracing new things.
You know, all these people say their cars go 200 miles an hour, but nobody actually sees if they actually do.
Right, a lot of people just make claims.
Right. Can we
not a lot of
try
places
and
to
take this to 200 miles an hour?
Well, it turns out we're here at the Milford Proving Grounds, and we do have the perfect facility.
Are we going on a straightaway? What are you going to do?
Actually, we're thinking maybe we should put you on our circle track.
Okay.
It's a high bank track. It's completely round, so you'll be cornering the whole time, and there's a guardrail there.
Oh, it's a guardrail.
We just to make sure you don't go off. But you should be able to get to 200 out there.
Okay. Is this the one you're going to let me take?
Well, actually, as the time we're filming here, we're pre-production. We have no saleable cars yet. So this is actually a car we just finished to start our show circuit. We can't put you in this one, but we can put you in that one.
All right, wouldn't have been my paint choice.
Well, Jay, I'd like to introduce you to Alex McDonald. He's our lead development engineer out here at the Proving Grounds.
How are you, Alex?
He's got hundreds of hours in this car.
Right. And this one is completely stock, right? No race gas, no trick stuff.
Yep, totally stock.
So I'm just anxious to see if a stock car can go 200 miles an hour.
What could possibly go wrong?
Hey, we rolled the Hemi Cuda. How bad could this be?
Worse.
What's the fastest you've ever gone this car?
It's today, by a long shot.
Wait a minute.
Really? The first time you're going to go 200 miles an hour is with a retired talk show host on a track I've never even seen before?
Well, this should be fun.
Let's go.
Let's give it a shot. The 66, 85. Try to get a little heat in the tires. 116, 124, 135, 142. Right in the high wall here. It's slow bumping. Kaz is talking. Got no idea what he's saying because we're We're going at 150 miles an hour. 175, 179, 182, 190. 200 miles an hour. Woo! 202. The car is incredibly stable. Pretty amazing accomplishment. To think it wasn't that long ago, this would have been the fastest vehicle in the world. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time two 60-year-olds went over 200 in a stock Chevy.
I hope I'm around to break 300 with you someday.
Me too.
Yeah, let's do it. Woo!
Coming up, welcome to Kings of the Road, an automotive game show. What car was affectionately called a deuce and a quarter? If you need to use the restroom, gentlemen, it's not a problem. For more cool cars, go to jlonsgarage.cnbc.com. Now it's time to play Kings of the Road. Welcome to Kings of the Road, America's fastest-growing automotive game show. I'm your host, Jay Leno, and my good friend, Donald Osborne.
The rules are simple. We have two teams, Team Osborne and Team Leno. Each team will be given 10 seconds to answer a question. If they are right, they get 2 points. However, if they're wrong, the opposing team can steal the question, and if they're right, they get 1 point. The theme of tonight's questions are the Motor City.
All right, let's meet Team Leno. We have two incredible builders. The first up, Jonathan Ward. Jonathan, how are you?
I am well.
You invented a term called derelict, where you keep a car looking exactly as it would have looked after 20 or 30 years of use, but totally modify the underpinning. Is that correct to say?
This is correct, sir. Is that a question? I actually got one right there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
0 points.
And of course, our other gentleman, Steve Strope. Steve, how are you? Good to see you, my friend.
Hi, Jay.
He's done some incredible builds. What are you working on now?
We're just putting the finishing touches on a 57 Ford two-door ranch wagon that we're going to be unveiling at the Grand National Roadster Show.
I know you've won a bunch of these awards, right? The Hot Rod Magazine and
the Ford Design Award 3 times at SEMA, the GM Design Award, a couple of other
Well, we could
things.
go on, but
yeah,
we have a show.
Okay, here we go. What was the first concrete paved road in the United States?
Concrete. Woodward Boulevard?
Woodward Avenue. Close enough.
That's
we'll give you 2
Very
points.
good. Very good.
Well played. All right.
Jay, Team Osborne consists of Nikhil Haggerty, the CEO of Haggerty Insurance, the world's largest collector car insurance agency, and Roland Sands, self-proclaimed two-wheel junkie, a championship motorcycle racer, builder, and the owner of the brand Roland Sands Design. Welcome, Roland.
Good to be here.
Good luck. You've got my name, so I'm watching you.
All right, gentlemen. In what year did the Chevrolet Impala make its debut?
Is it 1959?
No, I'm sorry, it was not 1959. We now go over to Team Leno.
1958.
1958 is the answer. Okay, very good.
Well, next question for Team Leno. Who was the first to manufacture a car with cruise control? Was it Ford, Cadillac, or Chrysler?
Cadillac.
Cadillac is your answer?
Yes, it is.
It is incorrect.
Oh, it's incorrect.
Team Osborne, you got a 50% chance to get this right.
Yeah, we got to go for it. Yeah, we're saying Chrysler.
Chrysler, excellent. 1 point for Team Osborne.
Gentlemen, in a handwritten letter dated April 10th, 1934, Clyde Barrow of Bonnie and Clyde fame wrote a letter to Henry Ford praising him for what?
We used Fords on all the getaway cars, so it was for the speed and reliability for Ford.
What thing in particular?
Suspension.
Suspension?
Model T suspension.
What? No, I'm sorry. Let's go to Team Leno. If you need to use the restroom, gentlemen. Okay. Clyde Barrow wrote a letter to Henry Ford praising what?
The V8.
The V8 engine.
That is correct.
Clink.
Team Leno. See if you can handle this one. Brothers, Horace and John, teamed up in 1914 to start this car company, which still bears their name.
Dodge.
Dodge is correct.
Actually, I have Dodge Brothers,
Oh,
so...
come on.
Okay, fine, we'll give you your 2 points.
Okay, gentlemen, you have to think about this. What car was affectionately called a deuce and a quarter? Think of a car.
32 Ford.
And a quarter.
Deuce and a quarter. I know this one.
32 Ford?
No.
We're getting smoked.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I'll repeat the question for you. What car was affectionately called a deuce and a quarter?
We're really soft on this one. But we're gonna go for
Bentley?
Electra 225.
Deuce and a quarter. And moving on to the next question for Team Leno. The Mercury Cougar grill was so unusual, it was given a nickname. What was it called? The cheese grater, the electric shaver, or the toaster?
It's either toaster or shaver. Electric shaver.
Your answer?
Electric shaver.
Electric shaver is your answer. Yes, that's correct. Electric shaver. 2 more points for Team Leno.
All right. Guys, here's a gift.
A gift.
Michiel, you have to get this.
I have to get this.
Who used the slogan, when better automobiles are built, blank will build them?
Buick will build them.
Buick will build them. That is correct.
Excellent.
Very good.
Yay, Team Osborne.
Team Leno, go ahead.
Okay. In what year was the 426 Hemi first offered?
Which version?
First
To the
offered.
public.
The 426
To the public.
first
To the
offered.
public.
The 426 Hemi first offered.
1964.
1964 is correct.
Correct.
Oh.
Very good.
Very well.
Gentlemen, in a Ford Model T, what does the center pedal operate? You have 3 pedals. What does the middle pedal operate?
Reverse.
That's correct.
Yes. Excellent. Well done. Well done.
Yes.
And now we're ready to name our champions. Tonight, Team Osborne ends the game with 5 points, and Team Leno, our champions, with 10 points. Congratulations.
Congratulations, gentlemen. There's your firm handshake.
Right.
I think you'll enjoy that very much.
Thank you,
and
sir.
of course, the lovely Katie bringing out some Leno Advanced Car Care products.
Excellent.
Wear them in good health. And of course, to our losing team, you will also get the Leno Advanced Car Care products, but I'm sorry, a no firm handshake.
Can we have a hug, Jay?
Coming up, I help scrub the streets of Detroit. Well, sort of.
You just don't want your bubble to burst. That's the worst thing that could happen.
Oh, I'll do a little pruning, too.
Taking out some trees?
The northern border of Detroit runs right along 8 Mile Road. Memorialized in movies and songs, in the past, this notorious street served as a physical and psychological border between the more affluent suburbs and the struggling city. But that's changing. During the hardest time, 8 Mile was a pretty rough place. But our next guest rode out the storm, and he's made possibly the strangest vehicle anyone has ever seen in Detroit.
Eddie, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How about yourself?
Jay Leno, my friend. Good to see you.
Pleasure to meet you.
So tell us what we have here.
This is a mutant vehicle I built for Burning Man a couple years back.
A mutant vehicle.
Yes, sir. I had 2 conditions. It needed to be something really ridiculous, and it needed to be something that had not been done before.
Okay. Well, you reach those criteria.
It's a rolling party, you know?
I mean, I get it. It's just kind of fun. It makes people smile.
If you have to ask why, you don't get it.
That's right. Exactly. That's the way it is. Yeah, yeah. My question is, how do you get this to Burning Man? That's the other side of the country for you. You have to disassemble it and then reassemble it there?
That's correct. I've got a crew of about 10. It takes us about 6 to 8 hours to assemble it, and then a little bit less to disassemble it.
That's funny. Yeah. Now, what do we have here? This looks like some sort of utility vehicle it's based on.
It was actually a fire engine from General Motors.
Oh, okay. And you did all this framework and...
Everything from the deck up is all custom fabricated. I work in automotive and...
what do you do in automotive?
I work with industrial robotics.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing that for about 15 years now.
These are the robots that actually build the cars?
Yeah.
So you work for pretty much all the car companies, not one in particular?
Correct.
Now, you were born here?
Absolutely. Born and raised here in the area.
Was there any point you were going to abandon Detroit? And
Never.
No? It looks like there's real progress being made here.
I would say about 10 years ago is when, you know, things kind of stopped and then slowly kind of started moving back in. You know, people were moving into a house that just, you know, had been vacant for a long time, and jobs are coming back down there now. It's been a long time coming.
What's the heart of it?
The people.
Yeah.
True Detroiters are, they're just solid, solid people.
And there are signs of progress all over. New retail, new coffee shops, the new queue line. And there's even been a high-tech boom. A lot of this innovation is being driven by what they call the makers class. Young developers and engineers like Eddie who are trying to find new ways to harness Detroit's unique resources.
Is there any fear that it gets gentrified? You know, the $5 chocolate chip cookie and the, you know.
Oh, it's happened. That's done. That ship sailed. That's fine.
Oh, that ship has sailed.
That's 5-7 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This thing runs and drives, right?
Absolutely.
This is what I like about kinetic artwork. It actually moves. You know, static artwork is nice, but it just sits there. Whereas
doesn't do a dang thing.
To make something unusual and interesting, and it actually has to function, you know, that's kind of the cool part. It actually drives pretty nice. You wouldn't think a bubble would handle this well.
You're a pretty good first-time bubble driver.
You just don't want your bubble to burst. That's the worst thing that could happen. Oh, okay. Okay, I think there's some trees. Okay. You all right? We taking out some trees?
Yeah. We'll be all right.
It's a little wide. You actually drove this at Burning Man, right? What was that like?
Oh, it's a great time. There's no better way to travel at Burning Man than by mutant vehicle.
Yeah. How many mutant vehicles show up?
I think there was about 1,000 this past year.
1,000, really?
You have to apply.
Yeah.
So if your design is deemed worthy, if they like your idea enough, they'll invite you.
What do little kids think when they see this? Do they think it's funny?
They just get that look of wonderment on their face.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, this would actually make an excellent street sweeper. You know, a few more things, you get this thing spinning, throw a little soap in, boom. Well, Eddie, thanks. This has been a real treat. It's a lot of fun, and it's great to see Detroit coming back in such a different and unusual way. So thank you, my friend.
My pleasure.
I'm going to try not to burst this bubble. Yeah.
Tonight, we took a tour of the Motor City.
On Woodward Avenue, I could race anything, and I'm in basically a sewing machine.
We saw how Detroit transformed transportation.
Wait till you see the bidet.
Past.
When the Model T came out, it was a revolution.
Present.
Hell yeah!
And future.
Actually, it's before the first one off the line.
When you're ahead of the first one, I don't know what you call that.
Perhaps most important of all, we saw how the people of Detroit dealt with adversity.
Well, this is my medicine.
Was there any point you were going to abandon Detroit?
Never.
No?
And stuck out the hard times to bring their city into a new era of hope and success.
200